What's up, you guys? Hey, on today's episode of the Chaz Way podcast, you get one special guest and one special guest only, and that is the one and only Chaz Foster. That's right, baby. Today it is me, and it's only me, and it's so out of my element for 2022 because I said that this year, every single episode would have a guest. There's nobody but me, and that means that we're breaking the character of what I said would be the year of having a guest every single episode. But you know what's happened is twice this year we've had guests just not work out. And what's crazy is my word of the year has become adapt, be adaptable, right? And that wasn't the way the year started, but that is the word that has happened time and time again throughout the year, not just in the podcast, but in life in general. Hey, if you're just joining us, my name is Chaz Foster. I am the host of the Chaz Way podcast. It's episode number 21 or 22, I think. And man, it has been such a great year so far. It's already, midway into June. It's been incredible. And the couple of times that we've had a guest that has not been able to appear, one time due to an emergency, one time due to a scheduling conflict, I've scrambled and made it work. And this time I was like, no, man, I'm just going to speak from the heart and come on and talk about whatever I want to share with you this week, because that's powerful. And this week's guest was powerful like every other. Daniel Blair, he is a television color commentator. He's a sideline reporter. He will be on in a few weeks. He just had some things come up, and he would have made it work. That's the cool thing about people, especially successful people that are willing to adapt and make things work. He would have made this episode work, but he would have done it at the sacrifice of a lot going on in his life. He just got picked up by a new contract for a network deal for television. He's in the middle of a move. He's in the middle of business. He's in the middle of a race season. And he would have made it work. But I said, dude, no, let's just adapt. We'll adjust, and we'll have you on in a few weeks. So anyways, I wanted to come on and just talk. This will be a shorter episode today. I say that, although I'm not sure that I don't talk just by myself, maybe even more than I would if we had a guest on, because I am a talker. But I'm going to talk about a few things that are near and dear to me and that are on my heart right now, and I'm just going to share with you what those things are. And first of all, I'm going to say this. I'm recording this podcast on Thursday, June 9th, 2022, and I today had my very first therapy appointment of my own. Now, I'm in the middle of trying to schedule bariatric weight loss surgery, and in that process, I did have to have therapy that was required, a therapy visit with a doctor. I guess they're called doctors, psychiatric doctor, maybe. Met with her about a month and a half ago. And that was my first exposure to therapy ever. My girlfriend Anna is a therapist, and she encourages therapy. I've considered it several times and been reluctant, nervous, scared, intimidated. But I have had the thought of going to therapy. And when I met with the therapist for the bariatric surgery, I also told her, I was like, I'm open to therapy. And she's like, well, I have some people, different people I could recommend. And so she did. And I just opened my heart to it. And so I went to my very first therapy, scheduled appointment today, and it was awesome. The lady was really, really nice. She was kind. She was sweet. I was comfortable. I was anxious, but it was cool. Even though it was just my very first appointment, we just kind of got to know each other a little bit. So I just wanted to openly admit that. And really the reason is because it was freeing for me, even though, again, like I said, it was scary, but it was freeing, like I said, but it was also like the opening of a new chapter for me, of a chapter of expression, a chapter of the willingness to maybe try and express and work through a few things. I don't have crazy traumas in my life, but I do think I have some things that I've held on to for years and years and years, and I think it's time to learn to work my way through those things and let go of them. And I've heard many, 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 many people say that therapy can be very helpful. So we'll see what happens. Secondly, I want to tell you that Anna and I went to Texas, Frisco, Texas, suburb of Dallas, left last Thursday, a week ago today. And we were there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, came back Sunday evening. We had an amazing weekend down there. We were at the $1 Million Mastermind put on by Ryan Stewman. Ryan Stewman is an entrepreneur down there in Frisco, Dallas Metroplex. And it was an incredible event. It was a great weekend in general. I got to meet some of Anna's really close friends that she actually knows from Minnesota. They were neighbors, but they live in Texas now, and we got to have dinner with them twice while we were down there. Really sweet, kind couple. They're from India, It was really cool to like learn about the Indian culture. I really enjoyed myself with that. And then also just being around the Apex community, being around the $1 Million Mastermind community, around a lot of entrepreneurs. 2,600, I believe, is what the ticket sales were, right around there. And just to see, last year we went to that event. We didn't know a soul. We knew the guest speaker and like 3 people in the building. There's only like 400 people there. And this year there's 2,600 people. So we knew a guest speaker last year, Jesse Lee Ward. And then I knew of like 3 other guest speakers, but I didn't know them personally. And then we knew a couple of the people in the building, maybe 3. And then this year, a year later, now being a member of Apex, and then personally knowing a couple speakers and then also a few people in the community was really cool. But I got to see people like Ed Milet, who is one of my very favorite public speakers in the world. He's a faith-based, strong Christian man who's just really awesome. He just delivered an incredible message, and it really opened my eyes to some things. And then also Eric Thomas, they call him E.T., the hip-hop preacher. I've watched Eric's videos on YouTube for years. I don't now, but I did for the first 3 years of my personal development journey a few years ago, and so it was really cool to see him in person. And there's a lot of other ones. We also had some guests, some prize appearances. Logan Paul was there. I don't know if you know who Logan Paul is, but he was there. That was really cool, unexpectedly. And then the closer of the weekend was Alex Rodriguez, massive baseball star, also gone through some stuff. He's an incredible businessman, but also, he has gone through a lot of crazy stuff you want to come in here? I'm filming a podcast. No? All right. So don't leave the door open then. She's like, no, and then busts the door open. That's really awesome. I'll be right out. And so it was just really, really awesome to be down there. And Alex Rodriguez delivered a great message. It was just good all the way around. But I want to share a couple things with you. I want to share that what I got out of the weekend was, first of all, some really good time with really, really good one-on-one time with Anna. Secondly, it was really cool to meet some of her friends from Minnesota, that couple. They were just awesome people, and learn about culture, like I said, learn some more about the Indian culture. I think I'm going to have the wife, her name is Bina. I think I'm going to have her on the podcast. She is really intelligent, but also I found it so fascinating to learn about their background, And then also being at an event with successful people is really cool. Let me rephrase that. Being in a room with other successful people. I think there was more years than not that I would go to events with a lot of successful people and feel like I was in a room with successful people. The reality is we are successful people in a room with other successful people. And I think it was a nice feeling to feel like that. I'm a realtor. I'm growing my business. I am a part-time DJ. I do well at that. I spent 4.5 years in network marketing. I had success at that. I had some really good successes that I chose to choose and pursue a different path, but I had a lot of success. I helped a lot of people grow. I grew. I qualified for 2 vacations when I was in that industry. I was a top producer in that industry. I got to speak on stages in that industry. I had a lot of success. I'm grateful for that industry. I don't want to be a part of that industry any longer, but it blessed me with a ton of opportunity, growth, education, and experience. Anna is an incredibly successful business person in her therapy business. She is a business owner. She's growing another business. She's actually growing 2 businesses right now. There was a room full of successful people that we were a part of the success of that room. We were a part of the success of that room, and that's a really good feeling, to feel like you were in the company of people that are like-minded and equal individuals. That was just really cool. It was a good weekend, and I enjoyed it, and came back to, it's been a good week back at home. And so working some real estate deals, living life. Life's good. Life's busy. That therapy appointment today, she was asking, so how how is your mental health? How's life? Just asking some questions. And I was like, well, honestly, it's busy. It's life's busy right now. A good busy, but it's busy. There's a lot to juggle. And she was like, yeah. And on top of that, you're a dad, and that's busy too. And I was like, yeah. And I appreciated her acknowledging that, because even though my son's 15 and he's self-sufficient, I don't have to cook him meals and stuff like that. But it never stops. He's on my mind, of course. So being a father that's important. That's a big piece of it. So But lastly, what I want to say to you guys, and I just want to kind of take a second quickly to. Well, that was fun. My last message cut off. So anyways, what I was going to say is I want to quickly just wrap this podcast up by saying this. As I look at being in June of 2022 and I reflect back on where we've come this year with the podcast, building a new podcast room that's not even quite done yet. I've said this for 2 months now, but we're so close to having guests in this room. I have a podcast guest chair. I have a podcast guest microphone sitting right over there. I have a guest boom stand for the guest. I have a cord for the guest's microphone that comes around. It's going to be over there. I have lights for the guests. We will be bringing guests in for the Chazway podcast. We also have a real estate podcast that'll be getting ready to start in this very room, this same room that was just a little office that barely got used, the same room that we recorded some singing in, the same room that I was doing ketone lives when we first moved in here. I was pursuing, network marketing still and selling ketones, and it's crazy to see where it's come. And now we're going to be having, these mortgage lenders and title company representatives and inspectors and appraisers and all these kind of people from the real estate industry come in here, and investors and wholesalers and flippers, and all these people will be coming over to be in this very room to bring and invest in other people. And it's just so cool to see where the vision has come. And then also knowing that one of the most beautiful things in life is just to see where things are going to be down the road in the future that will come. And so I just want to say to you guys, don't ever lose hope. Keep pushing, keep becoming the best version of yourself all the time. I say it so often because it's passionate. It's a passion of mine, is to help encourage others to grow and become the best version of yourself you ever can be. And also just to acknowledge where we're at today. We're so blessed to be successful, and we're so blessed to have a roadmap to get to even more success and take our friends along with us. And lastly, because this just hit me just now, our home, when we decided to get this house, we rent this house, and we're here for 3 years. We have 2 years left, and we might extend it. We may not. It's a rent deal. But we're on 5 acres. We have a pond. We have a decent sized home. We have a bonus room. We have guest rooms. We have TV rooms. We have fast internet. We got this home specifically to grow with our friends. And we haven't done a great job of that lately. Whenever I started real estate, I really got right back into that focus mode where it was I felt like there was always something on my shoulder I needed to be doing. Whereas before that, I had left the network marketing and got to where I was really focused on my family and my friends for a few months. And so when we got the house last summer, we were always had people over, and we did a really good job of hosting and loving on others, which is really where Anna and I's hearts both are, and Braxton's too. But we didn't do a great job of it over the last, of course, winter's different, but I just want you guys to know, our home is, I truly mean this, even though I'm saying this and it's broadcast in, several different countries. Believe it or not, we have a pretty big listenership in Canada. I see you, Canada. But truly, even to people that are in all these different states, I realize there's a small market that's in Oklahoma that listens or watches this podcast. But I want you guys to know, our home is truly a place of reflection, of retreat, of rest, of love, of joy, of happiness, of smiling, of laughing, of tears, of emotion. I want you guys to know that this is a place that you can come and you can build relationship, and you can eat if you need food, and you can drink if you need drink, and you can rest if you need rest. And I know that sounds so bizarre, but our heart, when we chose to live in this house, was to love other people and to welcome people here. And I openly admit that I don't think we've done a great job of that over the last 7 or 8 months. We've been a little self-absorbed, not from a selfish standpoint, but from a busy standpoint. And that's not always fair to others. And I just openly, again, admit that and share that with you. And I just will tell you that we will do a better job of that. And we are a phone call, a text message, an email, a direct message, DM away. So if you need something, or if you just want to be closer, do that. If you want to come in and record a podcast with us, you want to come hang out, we're here for you. We love you guys, and I appreciate you so much. So that's the end of it today. This one's just me. It's just me today, right? Your favorite podcaster in the whole entire world. If you like what you see, would you hit the like button, subscribe if you're on YouTube or whatever socials you're on. If you're listening, will you just make sure you share this? Make sure you write a review if you're on whatever platform you're on. Review it if you can review it. Like it. Subscribe to it if you can. Also, take a screenshot. Tag me on social media. Share it out. And love you guys. Love one another. Don't forget you're created with purpose. On purpose. You're amazing. This is the Chaz Way Podcast, episode number 20-something. I think 21 or 22. I think it's 22. Have a great day. Have a great week. We'll see you again.